Hey, what's up, my guys? Mike here, Practical Training Professionals. Today, we're going to be digging into some definitions and what the law says about those definitions. We'll be covering handguns, short barrel shotguns, short barrel rifles, muzzle loaders, silencers, suppressors, moderators, and then for giggles at the end, we'll look at what Maryland calls any other weapon. So with that, guys, let's go ahead and get right into it. So as I said, guys, today we're going to be looking into some definitions. Everything that we will pull up is going to come from the ATF, so federal code, and also Maryland's criminal code. We'll be talking about, and I'm going to use some acronyms here. So SBS is short barrel shotgun. SBR is a short barrel rifle. We're going to be talking about silencers, suppressors, moderators. Is there anything different about those? What does the law say about each of those? We'll talk about muzzleloaders, what category they fit into. And then we're going to talk about what Maryland calls any other weapon. So let's go ahead and jump right into the law first here, guys. Now, everything that we're going to be talking about, go ahead and blow this up. Most of what we're going to talk about today, guys, comes from 18 USC. All right. This is Crimes and Criminal Procedure, Part 1 Crimes, Chapter 44 Firearms, Section 921 Definitions. Now, all of this stuff, again, guys, is going to be downloadable over there at PTPGun.com. So make sure you're subscribed here to this channel and you're following that website, which you can subscribe to as well. So the first thing that we want to get into here, guys, is the definition of a handgun, what the ATF calls it, and then what Maryland Annotated Code calls it. So I've already kind of started here. We'll jump down here into handgun. It's actually item number 29. So according to the ATF, the term handgun means a firearm which has a short stock and is designed to be held and fired by the use of a single hand, and any combination of parts from which a firearm described in that subparagraph can be assembled. All right, guys? So the important language here is this right here, fired by the use of a single hand. All right? Now, in a future video, guys, make sure you're subscribed. In a future video, we're going to break down what the difference between an AR pistol and an AR rifle. And I'm going to tell you a little sneak peek right here. It has to do with being able to fire it from a single hand, not from the shouldered position. All right, so that's what the ATF calls a handgun. Let's look at what Maryland Criminal Law Annotated Code says here. All right, so we'll scroll down here for a handgun. According to Maryland, a handgun, go ahead and zoom in here for you guys. A handgun means a pistol, revolver, or other firearm capable of being concealed on the person, right? So that's a little bit different, right? It doesn't necessarily say being shot or fired with one hand. It means a pistol, revolver, or other firearm capable of being concealed on the person. A handgun includes a short-barreled shotgun, so that's an SBS, and a short-barreled rifle, an SBR. Okay, handgun does not include a shotgun, rifle, or antique firearm. And that leads me into our next section here, guys. So let's go ahead and come up with what the definition of a short-barreled shotgun is. So let's go ahead and bounce over here back to the ATF. All right, now a short-barreled shotgun is covered way back up here in Section 6, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and highlight it. Again, guys, all of this is going to be covered over there on the blog article. You can consume it there, and it'll be down in the description below. The term short-barreled shotgun means a shotgun having one or more barrels less than 18 inches in length, and any weapon made from a shotgun, whether by alteration, modification, or otherwise, of such a weapon as modified has an overall length of less than 26 inches. So what does that mean? It has a barrel less than 18 inches, either one. If it's a two-barrel shotgun and even one of those barrels is less than 18 inches, it's an SBS, short-barrel shotgun. Or if it has been modified in such a way that it is less than 26 inches. Overall length of the firearm is less than 26 inches. It is considered a short-barreled shotgun. All right, that's what the ATF says. Let's go over here and check out what Maryland says. Again, all of this stuff, guys, is from the Maryland Criminal Code, Section 4, TAC 201. So if we scroll down a little bit here, we'll find the definition of a short-barreled shotgun. Let me ping up here a little bit for you guys, all right? Again, this essentially copies and pastes right from the ATF definition. Short barrel shotgun means a shotgun that has one or more barrels less than 18 inches long, or a weapon that has an overall length of less than 26 inches long and was made from a shotgun, whether by alteration, modification, or otherwise. All right. Now let's go back and look at what an SBR is, a short-barreled rifle. Now, again, that's over here on Section 8 in this ATF article, or the federal code that's cited by the ATF. The term short-barreled rifle means basically the same thing, all right? A rifle having one or more barrels less than 16 inches in length, and any weapon made from a rifle, whether by alteration, modification, or otherwise, if such weapon as modified has an overall length of less than 26 inches. Okay? So that's what the federal code says. Let's look at what the Maryland code says. All right, here, it's basically the same thing, guys. I mean, Maryland didn't get too creative here for us, but a short-barreled rifle means a rifle that has one or more barrels less than 16 inches long, or a weapon that has an overall length of less than 26 inches and that was made from a rifle, whether by alteration, modification, or otherwise. So I know you guys are saying, all right, what does that mean, right? Well, what that means is this, okay? In the state of Maryland, if you were to go to Dick's and purchase a handgun, purchase a rifle or a shotgun, you would not need to get a tax stamp for an SBS or an SBR, short barrel shotgun, short barrel rifle. Those things are categorized differently by the ATF, as you just saw, and require an additional tax stamp to purchase and then own that. Okay. So if you go to Dick's or anywhere else, it's a really simple thing to check, and likely they're not going to sell much of anything that does not meet the requirement of a rifle or a shotgun. If they do, it's a quick check, right? Is the barrel less than 18 inches, and is the overall length of the firearm less than 26 inches? If it is, you've got some work cut out for you, all right? Also, in the state of Maryland, if it is a rifle or a shotgun that meet either of those two characteristics, less than a 16-inch barrel or less than 26 inches overall, that's now a regulated firearm, all right? So, moving on. So now what we want to get into is kind of the loophole firearm, right? It's a muzzleloader. Now we're going to look at what the ATF says, and then we're going to look at what the state of Maryland says. All right. Nothing new here, guys. So let's go ahead and bounce over here to the ATF. So the ATF, the muzzleloaders are over here under paragraph 16. Now, what's interesting is this is kind of a wordy description. All right. Now, where muzzleloaders fall into is they fall into these antique firearms, all right? An antique firearm is any firearm, including any firearm with a matchlock, flintlock, percussion cap, or similar type of ignition system manufactured in or before 1898. 1898, guys. Or any replica of any firearm described in that subparagraph, if such replica is not designed or redesigned for using rimfire or conventional centerfire fixed ammunition, or uses rimfire or conventional centerfire fixed ammunition which is no longer manufactured in the United States and which is not readily available in the ordinary channels of commercial trade. So if you purchased a firearm, if you got an antique firearm or something, we're calling them antique because that's what they're called. Let's assume this. Let's assume Granddaddy fought in World War II, brought back a firearm in which the centerfire or rimfire ammunition is no longer available or no longer manufactured in the United States, okay? Now, if it's a pain in the butt to be able to get that ammunition, you got to go back to communist or Nazi Germany to try to get that ammunition. Yeah, that's an antique firearm, guys. All right. But what's important here that we want to pick up here is subparagraph C. Any muzzle loading rifle, again, I'm going to highlight this for you guys here. Any muzzle loading rifle, muzzle loading shotgun, or muzzle loading pistol, which is designed to use black powder or a black powder substitute, which cannot use fixed ammunition. That is also an antique firearm, all right? For purposes of this subparagraph, the term antique firearm shall not include any weapon which incorporates a firearm frame or receiver, any firearm which is converted into a muzzle-loading weapon, or any muzzle-loading weapon which can be readily converted to fire fixed ammunition by replacing the barrel, bolt, breech lock, or any combination of. What does that sound like, guys? That sounds like, I would say 99% of any muzzle loading firearm that you're going to be able to buy online at Dick's or anything else like that, guys. All right. That's a muzzle loader that you're going to use, be it a pistol or a shoulder fired muzzle loading rifle that you're going to use in hunting season. All right. That's what a muzzle loader is. It is categorized as an antique weapon and is not regulated like shotguns or rifles, meaning you do not have to fill out what's called a federal form 4473. All right. We'll have more videos coming up in the future about the forms necessary to complete in order to purchase regulated firearms like handguns or rifles or shotguns. All right, guys. But for the intentions of this video, we're just giving you the definitions. The definition that you need to be familiar with when it comes to muzzle loaders is just to categorize it as an antique firearm. Now let's look at what the state of Maryland calls it. All right, let's pivot back over here. All right, again, antique firearm. That's what we're looking at, guys. This is all in the Maryland Criminal Code, Section 4, TAC 201. An antique firearm means the same thing that we just read. All right, guys? The same thing we just read in the ATF description. Firearm, including a firearm which is matlock, flintlock, percussion cap, or similar ignition system manufactured before 1899, or a replica of a firearm described there, right? Or is not designed or redesigned to use rimfire, conventional centerfire, fixed ammunition, or uses that ammunition, but it's no longer manufactured in the United States and is not readily available in the ordinary channels of commercial trade. Now, that's pretty interesting, right? That's going to lead us into our next topic because it really touches on two different things. All right. What I want to talk about now are suppressors, silencers, and moderators. Now, you will hear a million different things out there. All right. About, oh, well, a silencer isn't a suppressor, or the gun control freaks want to continue to call it a silencer, and then the gun advocates want to call it a suppressor to kind of remove the stigma, just like we did for assault weapons, right? We call them modern sporting rifles. That's the difference, right? Suppressor, silencer, they're the same thing, all right? They're essentially a gun muffler. Now, the term that gets a little bit convoluted in the mix is what's called a moderator, right? They're all the same. The ATF considers them the same thing. The state of Maryland considers them the same thing. Everyone, for all the research that I found, considers them the exact same thing. All right. Anything that is used to reduce the report of a firearm is a gun muffler, be it a silencer, suppressor, or moderator. All right. Now, some people will argue that a moderator is what's called integral to the firearm, meaning that it is permanently attached to the muzzle. Whereas a suppressor is something that can be interchangeable, right? Where you could take a suppressor and put it on a threaded barrel for a Glock 17, or you could put it on a threaded barrel for a, SIG P320 or something like that. No, guys, you're wrong. The silencer, suppressor, moderator, they're the exact same thing, and they're based on that definition I just gave you. But let's go ahead and look at what the ATF says. So for a silencer, we have to get back over here to the ATF form. A silencer is covered in ATF and in the same code. Again, guys, all of this will be down there in PTPGun.com over on the website. If you like what we're doing so far, guys, drop down there, hit that subscribe button. It really does help us take this channel to the next level. But here is what the ATF says, okay? The terms firearm silencer and firearm muffler mean any device for silencing, muffling, or diminishing the report of a portable firearm, including any combination of parts designed or redesigned and intended for use in assembling or fabricating a firearm silencer or firearm muffler, and any part intended only for use in such assembly or fabrication. That is the definition of the term firearm silencer, firearm muffler, and as I've already covered, it's the same thing for a suppressor or a moderator. That is the same thing, guys, and that is the code. That is what the prosecutor is going to use if you end up getting popped for not having a tax stamp or a permit for a firearm silencer suppressor moderator. Now, I was talking to Ryan earlier, and some of you guys may know who Ryan is, right? Ryan's the founder, lead instructor, owner of Practical Training Professionals. And I was talking to him earlier because, you know, it's his job to be really up to date on all the laws surrounding everything firearms related in the state of Maryland as an instructor. It's my job as well. But I wanted to get his second opinion because there really is no definition of silencer, suppressor, moderator in Maryland code. It's governed by the ATF, the NFA, and the tax stamp that you have to use to get such a device. But I was able to, I asked him, I said, hey, do you know of any codes? Do you know of any laws surrounding the silencer? He said, nah, man, I mean, it's not, it's regulated by the ATF. And so I put on my digging boots, right? And I started doing some digging. And what I found was one reference for a silencer in the Maryland code. Now, if you guys have more information, or if you could add to this, we encourage you guys to drop down into the comments below and please share. All right. Because information works both ways, guys. I'm a perpetual learner. I'm a perpetual student, and I like to share the information I find. I would ask that you please share any information you have with myself and the channel. So drop down in the comments below. Leave a comment if you feel open to public scrutiny, or send me an email directly to mike@PTPGun.com, and we'll be sure we come back and update this video. But anyhow, let's go ahead and look at what Maryland says about silencers. All right. So what I was able to find in the Maryland code for silencers is actually in this section talking about drug trafficking. All right. So this is still in the criminal law statute, section 5 tax 621. All right. And what we're going to do here, we're going to go ahead and scroll down until we find the term silencer. And it's in here, guys, right here. Firearm silencer. Again, it's in quotations. Firearm silencer includes a combination of parts designed, redesigned, or intended for use in assembling or fabricating a firearm silencer or muffler. That's exactly what they said in the ATF or in the federal code. All right. So if you're a drug trafficker and in the commission of that crime, you use a silencer, you will be facing additional charges. All right, guys. But that's all I could find there on silencers. Again, it goes down here in the in the public safety article. It does talk about any of those firearms listed in 4301, which we use a lot, or 5101, which we use a lot, that's equipped with the firearm silencer. All right. It talks to that too. So any of these things are going to add an extra charge against you if you use that in the commission of a drug trafficking crime. But that is the only location I could find that talks about a suppressor, silencer, moderator in Maryland State Code. Now, throwback. I was talking about antique firearms. What's interesting about antique firearms is that they're not regulated like regulated firearms, like a rifle, shotgun, short barrel rifle, short barrel shotgun, handgun, anything like that. So here's the loophole for you guys. All right. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys something that we found for sale that we actually own, and we're going to do a video on pretty soon. This is the Silencer Co. Maxim 50. All right. This is a moderated, suppressed, silenced 50 cal muzzleloader. Now, isn't that interesting? All right. So the Silencer Co., I'm going to read you from the website here, guys. I know maybe some of you guys are driving around. You don't have time to click over here and look at the text, but the Silencer Co. Maximum 50 allows for suppressed shooting without NFA regulations. Since the Maxim 50 is a muzzleloader, it does not fall into federal regulations surrounding typical firearms. As such, the permanently attached moderator is not defined as a silencer by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. ATF, essentially. It can be purchased with no 4473. That's that form we were talking about earlier. Or you also don't need to pay the additional federal taxes or waiting period. All right. It's available to immediately ship directly to customers across the United States with only a few exceptions. So that's your legal loophole, guys. All right. If you want to get a suppressed, moderated, silenced firearm, go ahead and buy yourself a moderated black powder rifle, muzzleloader. All right. You could go ahead, take it out to the woods, shoot it, do whatever you want. Now, I want to ask you guys this. I want to challenge you guys. Now, drop down the comments and leave an answer below, but what do you think the primary use of a silencer is, or suppressor, moderator for that term? Well, what the NRA and what other organizations are pushing for is to say that these silencers and moderators, one of the biggest advantages are while you're out hunting. All right. Somewhere around 50 to 70% of hunters do not use ear pro when they're out hunting. All right. So when they're shooting their, 12 gauge slug gun or a 50 caliber muzzle loader or anything like that, or they're target practicing, or there's noise pollution, all this other stuff. There's a bunch of reasons to use a silencer, suppressor, moderator. I want to know what you guys think the primary use case for one of those devices is. Drop down the comments below and let us know, guys. Now, last but not least is something that in Maryland we have to deal with, right? So already short barrel shotguns, short barrel rifles, handguns are regulated weapons, okay? But there's a whole nother list of regulated weapons in the state of Maryland. They're called any other weapon, AOWs is what we'll call them for the purposes of this video. But I want to go ahead and show you guys what a few of those are. We'll be doing future videos on how in some places it's legal to carry a handgun, but it's not legal to carry nunchucks, all right? And that's pretty fascinating, but Maryland is a crazy state, guys. And again, as always, we want to make sure that you have the legal knowledge, at least to make sure that you're not getting yourself in trouble before you call your lawyer if you have an encounter with law enforcement. So let's go ahead and look at what some of those any other weapons are, all right? So we'll go ahead and take you over here, guys. So this is a completely different cut, all right? So this is criminal law, section 4 TAC 101. And this gives you an entire list of all of these other weapons that you're not allowed to carry in the state of Maryland, all right? Or concealed in the state of Maryland. You're not allowed to have these things on you. So nunchaku, right? Nunchucks, right? 2 pieces of a substance of wood connected by something that's less than 24 inches in length. Pepper mace, all right? Which is your pepper spray. Pepper mace, also known as OC spray, all right? How about a star knife, which is a throwing star, okay? Or in another term, a weapon includes a dirk knife, bowie knife, switchblade knife, star knife, sand club, metal knuckles, razor, or nunchaku. It does not include a handgun or a penknife with a switchblade, all right? Now, who does this apply to, all right? This section does not prohibit the following individuals from carrying a weapon, okay? Any law enforcement officer, any special agent of a railroad, or a holder of a permit to carry a handgun issued under our favorite Title V, Subtitle 3 of the Public Safety article, or an individual who carries this basically as a reasonable precaution. So if you have an ex parte or something like that, a person may not wear or carry a dangerous weapon of any kind concealed or about the person. Meaning any of that crap that we just listed, any of this stuff, pepper spray, knives, nunchucks, anything like that, razors, you cannot carry in the state of Maryland unless you're law enforcement, a worker on the railroad, which seems kind of crazy, or a concealed carry permit holder, which in the state of Maryland, as most of you know, is an HGP handgun permit, Maryland wear and carry permit. They're all the same thing, all right? Maryland does not discriminate between open or concealed carrying. Therefore, concealed carry permit doesn't really make sense. It's a wear and carry permit or an HGP. Nevertheless, don't carry a knife, which can be considered a dirk knife, a bowie knife, switchblade, star knife, which is a throwing star, sand club, metal knuckles, razor, or nunchucks in the state of Maryland without first getting your Maryland permit to wear and carry, Maryland handgun permit, whatever you want to call it, guys. Do not carry those devices unless you have the permit. How can you get the permit? So easy, guys. Head over to PTPGun.com, right, and sign up for our Maryland wear and carry permit class. All right, it's that easy. Come out and, hey, maybe you need some help. Maybe you're a procrastinator and you need help filling out the application. Guys, we assist in that too with our new premium application assistance. Any of that stuff can be found over there at PTPGun.com, or even easier, send me an email, mike@PTPGun.com, and we'll get you squared away, guys. If you're new to the channel, We really appreciate if you drop down there, hit that subscribe button, guys, turn on notifications. But if you've been here for a while, and even if you haven't, what can you expect from us? We talk about all things gears and gadgets, field stripping firearms, you know, law, which is what a lot of this video was, all this other stuff, guys. So if you're interested in more gear and gadget type videos, click this playlist. If you're interested in more law type videos, click this playlist. And to really support the channel, guys, just make sure you go ahead and hit this subscribe button right here. And with that, guys, as always, learn, defend, prevail. We're out.